always do. We have our guys that we typically going to close the game with, and if we have a need for ball handling, an extra ball handler out there, we put Rondo in there. Kuz had been playing well, so we decided to play Kuz, and we typically go small late.
Frank, what was your vantage point on the ball with like 3.5 seconds left that LeBron lost out of bounds? They ended up reversing the call.
That's the replay center. It's completely out of our control. It looked like it was off Pat Bev, but I guess it wasn't.
Frank, on the possession that led to that play, you had timeouts, chose not to use them. Just how did those 15 seconds play out from your standpoint, and then what were your conversations with LeBron like after?
Yeah, a lot of times you get your best look, especially in a needed three situation where they're going to put their 5 best defenders in and switch everything. A lot of times you get your best look, in those situations off a live rebound. And, I trust the ball in LeBron James' hands late. We didn't make a play this time, but I'll do the same thing next time.
Frank, obviously the point total is noticeable with Kuzma, but what are you seeing from him the last couple of games after he took those 5 games to rest?
Yeah, it looks fresh. He always plays hard, with great energy. And, this is the Kuz that we envisioned, throughout, all the summer and since I've been here. Somebody that can just fill it up, and he's working hard on the defensive end. He gives us a long body on that end that plays extremely hard and, changes the energy of the group. So, he was terrific tonight, and, it's good to see him get going, and he'll be a big part of what we do down the stretch, the rest of the season.
Why do you think the Lakers lost today?
Well, a lot of reasons. We put the Clippers to the free throw line far too much in the second half. Didn't get there ourselves. Went cold from the three-point line in the second half, and didn't execute well enough down the stretch.
Frank, you said you thought perhaps LeBron was dealing with some soreness and he started a little cold. How did you see him kind of adapt and get in the game, especially that second half where he was shooting a lot better?
Yeah, he just works through the game. He was in foul trouble, and sometimes that breaks your rhythm a little bit offensively. But, he had a great second half.
Discrepancy at the free throw line in the second half. What did you think? Why did you get to the line so often in the second half, and why was that a difference in the game?
We were in a penalty with, I think, 8 minutes left in the fourth. And we wasn't attacking. We shot a lot of jump shots, but, they wanted it more. We had a lot of mistakes down the end of the game, mental mistakes on both ends of the floor. We fouled a lot in that fourth quarter, put them to the line. Really in the second half, they made shots and, got some stops. So, we gave that one away.
Big discrepancy, too, just in offense in the first half and in the second. I think you're in the 60s and then in the 40s in the second half. What did you see offensively in that second half, AD?
I said we missed shots. We were rushing a lot of shots. We had some good looks wide open. Kuz had one, KCP had one at the end. We just missed them. I think they were a little bit rushed, but, we all had shots. Like I said, we wasn't I don't think we were too aggressive, especially being in the penalty with 8 minutes left. That's the time where we got to be ultra aggressive to get to the line.
Defensively, what was working for you guys at the start, and how were the Clippers able to respond, do you think?
We were talking, we were communicating. We were in all-out coverages, and towards the end, we messed up on some coverages, and they made us pay. Like I said, we were fouling, wasn't being solid, and they get to the line, early in the third, and was able to cut that lead. So it kind of gets away from how we play, which is fast. Anytime they're in the line, it kind of slows the game down. So we weren't able to get out and run like we did in the first half. And like I said, they came out in that that second half, and was aggressive getting to the line, Paul George especially, and was able to cut that lead down.
Anthony, the same result as opening night, but are there any ways where you felt like your guys' overall impact or effectiveness against them has developed since opening night?
Yeah, we did some good things, but like I said, we gave that one away. We had the game. We were in control of the entire game. We let them get back in it. We were still leading. I think about 7 with about 6 minutes to go. That's a game that you got to close out. So, like I said, we gave that one away. They made some big plays. We had some miscommunication on defense where, Kawhi, got a couple threes. We didn't, box out. a couple plays, and they were able to get the rebounds and make us pay for it. So we got to do a better job in those areas.
In a game that you guys are up by 15 in that third quarter, and then by the end of the third, start of the fourth, it's tied. What happened in that stretch?
Turnovers. And like I said, they got to the line. The game was definitely slowed down. He wasn't able to play with pace because they were able to get to the line. So we got to do a better job of, not fouling and, being able to keep our pace high. And going to the fourth, a tie game, and we still had the lead, late down the stretch, and we got to be able to close those games out.
Last two questions.
You had a couple possessions where you matched up with Kawhi. How do you feel like you did defensively against him in those?
I feel like I did fine. I mean, it was a couple of possessions where, we had a couple of miscommunication on my end, and he was able to get a three over Dwight, and then, got to be a step into him a little bit more, and he got a rise up three in the first quarter. But for the most part, I was able to try to force him to his left, not let him get right, for his, one dribble, two dribble pull up. But, it's a team defense, not one-on-one. I think our entire team, did a good job for the most part, but we, once again, fouling and, offensive rebounds kind of killed us. And, he had a couple rise-up threes in front of our defenders. And, that's the one thing that we don't want to do, when we're on an island with a player like that is give him, rise-up threes or let him get middle. And, we kind of struggled in that department tonight.
This is now 4 straight losses. How do you prevent... You've obviously played some really good teams during that stretch. How do you prevent that from becoming something that gets into your heads? And
I think we got back to our defensive, intensity tonight. Which we were struggling in the other 3 losses that we had. We wasn't playing any defense, and I think we got back to it tonight. I say we just some plays offensively where, we came down here 3 turnovers in a row late game, which we can't have. So we need to get shots at the rim. But, we get those possessions back and, no telling what the game is. So, we got to be able to execute down the stretch. But the one thing I do like that we got back to our tenacity on defense, and that's going to help us win a lot of games.
thanks, everyone. Thanks.
Yes, I know it wasn't the outcome that you guys wanted on this day, but you guys did have control most of the game. What gave the Clippers that final edge those last couple minutes?
They got stops and made shots. And, when we got stops, we weren't able to counter on the other end and make shots.
Now, looking ahead, what are the takeaways from this game, how you guys can adjust to move forward?
I don't know. I mean, we'll watch the film, at our next practice and see ways we can get better. I mean, it's a long season. It's a marathon. So, it was a great atmosphere. We had a chance to win, but they made the plays.
LeBron, what was your sort of experience of that last play that eventually got overturned? What were you thinking before they went to the video on that?
What do you mean?
What was your sort of live experience of that, and how were you surprised by the result of the review? Yeah,
and not by the review, but I was surprised by the overturn. I didn't feel like the ball went off my hand, but I mean that's the way it went.
Have you watched replays on that?
I've seen a little bit on the jumbotron, but not since I've been here.
Because the physics of it are just kind of confusing. Like, how does it go with that angle?
No, I mean, if he strips down, the ball will go down. It wouldn't go back. But he stripped the ball and it went. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if you look at a slow motion 4 or 5, 10 times, you can always decide if it could be a different call. But throughout a live game, if he strips the ball and it goes, I mean, it's just weird to me, but that wasn't the game right there. I mean, it's a big play, and you want to try to get it right, but it wasn't the game that lost us.
From your vantage point, did he touch the ball?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Ron, to your point, it's a long season, but what things do you take away that might mean anything from the big picture?
We just got to get better. And I said that even when, during the win streaks to the road streaks, for me, you stay even keeled throughout the whole season, no matter what. No matter if you're losing, you're winning, because it's a marathon. A new narrative can be made the next day or the next opportunity you get to go on the court. So, we just continue to work our habits. Continue to be. I think defensively we got back to how we play defense tonight, and offensively we got to be better. I mean, we had some late turnovers in the fourth quarter that was very costly, and we missed a lot of our perimeter shots, including myself. But we just got to be a little bit better.
Were the 5 days or so leading up to this game effective in your rehab, and how healthy did you feel?
I felt healthy going into the game. The third defensive possession, I got kneed in the groin, taking a charge from Pat Bev, and it kind of set me right back to where I was 5 days ago.
Obviously, there's much more to the game than this, but when you split those free throws late, how frustrating was that for you?
I mean, that's my job to go up and make free throws. 1 out of 2, it's still one possession game. We're still down 3, and we still got to stop. And then the play to review happened after that. So we still got an opportunity to still, tie the game.
Do you feel good about the progress your defense made? AD was just saying that he felt like the previous 3 games it just wasn't there, and then tonight he got his back. Did you agree with that?
Yeah, they shot 45% from the field. A lot of their shots was tough. A lot of them was, our mistakes though, in the fourth quarter. But pretty much, I think, when you have guys, you got guys sprinting back on turnovers like KCP did. Guys, getting extra possessions. JaVale, his limited minutes going up and being out of position, but still able to come back in the lane and block shots. That's just multiple efforts. So, definitely you take some of that, you take that good with that.
LeBron, despite the result, how much fun was it, especially with both teams at full strength this time?
You get an opportunity to play the game that you love on Christmas in front of the world, and you just try to live in the moment, and you won't have it won't last forever, that's for sure. So you live in the moment and don't ever take it for granted.
You mentioned that Pat Bev needs you, and that sets you back a little bit. How optimistic are you feeling about that you're going to be able to play on Saturday in Portland?
To be honest, I haven't even thought about Portland just yet. I'm always around the clock with my body, getting my treatment. If I'm feeling great, I'll be in the lineup. If I'm feeling well, I'll be in the lineup. Like I said, we see what happens.
LeBron, it's obviously a long season, a lot of things can change, but it feels kind of like you guys are on a collision course with that team. How do you feel about that matchup and your ability to get a different result if you in a 7-game series?
I haven't even got to a point where I'm thinking about a 7-game series, to be honest. This is December 25th, and we got a long way to go to even think about, trying to compete versus anyone in the 7-game series. So, we want to try to continue to get better, and we will continue to get better offensively, defensively, on ways that we can, hold a lead and execute better offensively. And when teams pick up the pressure, how we can still compact that and still be able to execute down the stretch. So, those are things we can continue to get better at before we even get to, talking about April.
Thanks, everyone.
I think was the biggest difference in the second half when it seemed like the offense was harder to come by, and you put the Clippers at the free throw line a lot.
I felt like we was not aggressive enough on the offensive end, and then they picked up their aggressiveness on the defensive end, turned us over. We couldn't get either a post entry or elbow entry. They were getting their hands on a lot of deflections. The second half kind of turned around in their favor.
With the free throw issue for the Clippers getting to the line, did you think that those were just reach-in plays? Were you guys being over-aggressive? Was it the way the game was called? What did you see there?
I feel like it was the way it was called, man. We were trying to be aggressive, trying to get the steals or, force it into a turnover. But unfortunately, they was calling fouls, and they went to the free throw line, knocked down their free throws.
You learn anything else in a game like this against an opponent that you're going to see again down the line that would be considered elite as you are?
I know we were down the stretch. We got to execute. We got to be able to get into our plays, get a shot up and not turn the ball over. That's been our biggest thing. The games we all lost down the stretches, we turned the ball over and not be able to get a shot.
How'd your ankle feel after you got retaped?
It felt good. Just initial, the pain there when I landed. But other than that, retape helped.
Is this the kind of game where you really get obviously you had to run back to the locker room right after that block, but where you really feel sort of the surge of energy after you make a play like that and the crowd gets in?
I felt the energy. I wanted to keep playing, but it kind of after I fell, it was real painful then. But once I got retaped, it was fine.
It's 4 straight, obviously, and all of them have been against teams that you consider a pretty good test.
Does it make it harder when it's like you keep coming up just a little bit short against teams that are also in the same boat as you, chasing the championship?
I mean, it don't make it harder. I mean, we just got to be able to finish the games out. We was up going into the fourth, I think, but we got to be able to execute and just finish the game. We know we can only beat ourselves. We turned the ball over. In
the final 6 minutes or so, you guys had that 7-point lead. What you see as the major difference down the stretch?
We just beat ourselves, plain and simple. Obviously, credit to Clipper for making shots down the stretch, but we just beat ourselves. We had about, I think, 3 straight turnovers, and let them get back in that game after you said we had that lead, and it bit us at the end.
What do you take out of that, big picture-wise, just given how intense the game was? They're going to be one of those teams you're going to see again at the top of the conference.
I mean, we've always said ever since training camp, our biggest enemy is going to be ourselves, I think that's what it is. So.
You said you felt about as good as you felt after last game physically. It certainly looked like you found your rhythm. How much did that feel good to just get that coming and feel a little bit more like yourself and what we saw from you in the past couple of years?
I mean, this is what I look like when I'm healthy, and I'm confident in my body. Like I said, I've been hurt all year, and this is the best I felt, and my play past 2 games reflected it.
Now that it's over, was this still looked upon as just another game?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was the attitude coming in, but it was a pretty intense game, and
It's still another game. We're in December. We got a couple more months of basketball.
AD said